world leaders to remove patients' rights associated with the production of vaccines in order to win the fight against COVID-19 at a stakeholder engagement at Tema, marking 2 years since the COVID-19 pandemic broke out. Participants called on the World Trade Organization to temporarily waive the WTO rules of intellectual property monopolies on the COVID-19 tests, vaccines, and treatments to prevent further spread of the new variants.
Analysts say lack of strong government action in the face of pharmaceutical monopoly is causing thousands of needless and preventable deaths each day. With the emergence of new COVID variants, inequalities in the vaccine supply chain threatens the control of the disease and could lead to another pandemic. Health researchers say one sure way to permanently stop COVID disruptions is to make vaccines, tests, and treatments readily available to all. World leaders have been called upon to waive the huge pharma monopoly hold on COVID-19 vaccines, tests, and treatments and allow countries to produce the life-saving medicines.
3 million people have died since the Omicron variant emerged, shattering perceptions that the pandemic is over, says new reports. As we enter the second year of the pandemic, 99% of humanity is worse off, but a billionaire has been created every 26 hours as COVID rages.
Not every country can produce it, but once the patent is removed, some countries who have the capacity can produce it in large quantities.
Mr. Roberts Amite urged global leaders to maximize the production of safe and effective vaccines, treatments, and other COVID-19 products, pending intellectual property rules and ensuring the mandatory pooling of all COVID-19 related knowledge, data, and technologies.
Those are the things that we are talking about. The big pharmaceutical companies who are producing these vaccines are not ready to take wave of the intellectual property right. So if Ghana, for example, we have the capacity and then we don't have the intellectual property right to do it, it means that we'll have to be spending more dollars to go and then acquire the vaccine. This will also affect the economy of Ghana or countries who do not have that capacity to produce. They don't have the intellectual property right waived off to produce.
Members of the Global Call to Action Against Poverty, GCAP, and AbibiNsroma Foundation say there is the need for governments to implement a global roadmap to deliver the WHO goal of fully vaccinating 70% of its people by mid-2022.